I don't like outlanders creeping round after dark.
Let's hear it, Cyrodiil.
Try sleeping on the streets.
Make faith your guide. I'm Paliaseno, stranger. This is Hla Owad. You're either a fisherman or a sailor in the Bitter Coast region, or a smuggler. We don't get many pilgrims or tourists here. Are you looking for someone in particular? Are you looking for services? Is there some specific place you'd like to visit? I don't trust you enough to talk about that. Not with you, no.
Let's hear it, Cyrodiil. Don't try to butter me up.
I couldn't possibly. Too busy.
Make it quick, sir. Who are you, and what are you doing in HLA Ode? Is there some specific place you want, or are you lost? Some words should be shared only by friends. Really? I was thinking the same thing. If you're looking for services in HLA Ode, you might be disappointed. Look around you. Not much here. Anything I can do for you? It's a matter of trust, and I don't trust you enough yet. I prefer not to.
The Bitter Coast is named for the salt marshes and swamps along the southwest coast. The water is bitter, and so is life generally. It's mostly uninhabited wilderness from Se Danin in the south, all the way north to the West Gash and the Sea of Ghosts. Hla Owad is a fishing settlement on the mainland near the mouth of the Odai River. There's a fair track along the river inland to Balmora. Gnar Mok is a fishing village on an island farther north, but both places are small, isolated and poor. That's funny. I hadn't heard that one. Respectable citizens should be turning in at this hour. I don't trust you enough to talk about that.
You wish to speak? There is much to learn.
Are you looking for something, friend?
Why do you Outlanders think you can bother anyone you please? This is not something I would tell the likes of you.
Do not bother me. Yeah, just a little unfinished business between Vorar Hellas and me. I owe him big for a deal we made a while ago. Rabina here ought to pay for my side of the bargain and more. There's a lot of money in some of these slaves. You interested in the work? What do you want? You're new here. I'm Falvis Tunel. This is Hlaod. Welcome to the Bitter Coast region. Is there something I can help you with? Or are you lost and looking for the way out?
This looks interesting, said Indik, his eyes narrowing to observe the black caravan making its way to the spires of the secluded castle. A gaudy alien coat of arms marked each carriage, the lacquer glistening in the light of the moons. Who do you suppose they are? They're obviously well off, smiled his partner, Haraya. Perhaps some new imperial cult dedicated to the acquisition of wealth? Go into town and find out what you can about the castle, said Indik. I'll see if I can learn anything about who these strangers are. We meet on this hill tomorrow night. Haraya had two great skills, picking locks and picking information. By dusk of the following day, she had returned to the hill. Indik joined her an hour later. The place is called Ald Olira, she explained. It dates back to the Second Era, when a collection of nobles built it to protect themselves during one of the epidemics. They didn't want any of the diseased masses to get into their midst and spread the plague, so they built up quite a sophisticated security system for the time. Of course, it's mostly fallen into ruin, but I have a good idea about what kind of locks and traps might still be operational. What did you find out? I wasn't nearly so successful, frowned Indik. No one seemed to have any idea about the group, even that there were here.
Do
I was
not
about
waste
to give
my
up,
time.
but at the charter house, I met a monk who said that his masters were a hermetic group called the Order of St. Eardnua. I talked to him for some time, this fellow name of Parathon, and it seems they're having some sort of ritual feast tonight. Are they wealthy? Asked Haraya impatiently. Embarrassingly so, according to the fellow, but they're only at the castle for tonight. I have my picks on me, winked Haraya. Opportunity has smiled on us. She drew a diagram of the castle in the dirt. The main hall and kitchen were near the front gate, and the stables and secured armory were in the back. The thieves had a system that never failed. Haraya would find a way into the castle and collect as much loot as possible, while Indik provided the distraction. He waited until his partner had scaled the wall before rapping on the gate. Perhaps this time he would be a bard or a lost adventurer. The details were most fun to improvise. Haraya heard Indik talking to the woman who came to the gate, but she was too far away to hear the words exchanged. He was evidently successful. A moment later, she heard the door shut. The man had charm, she would give him that. Only a few of the traps and locks to the armory had been set. Undoubtedly, many of the keys had been lost in time. Whatever servants had been in charge of securing the Order's treasures had brought a few new locks to a fix. It took extra time to maneuver the intricate hasps and bolts of the new traps before proceeding to the old but still working systems. But Haraya found her heart beating with anticipation. Whatever lay beyond the door, she thought, must be of sufficient value to merit such protection. When at last the door swung quietly open, the thief found her avaricious dreams paled to reality. A mountain of golden treasure, ancient relics glimmering with untapped magicka, weaponry of matchless quality, gemstones the size of her fist, row after row of strange potions, and stacks of valuable documents and scrolls. She was so enthralled by the sight, she did not hear the man behind her approach. "You must be Lady Trest," said the voice, and she jumped. It was a monk in a black hooded robe, intricately woven with silver and gold threads. For a moment she could not speak. This was the sort of encounter that Indic loved, but she could think.
Not on my watch. He's over here! He's over here! He's over here! There he is! Grab him! Seize him! Seize him! There he is! Grab him! Grab him!
You can't escape.
There he is!
Its scent is unfamiliar.
Not a lot of pretty ladies around here.
escape. Sarah? Sweet skooma.
He's over here!
This one is no more. Warm day to you.
I don't know. You look like trouble to me.
I don't like outlanders creeping around after dark.
You're hardly a match for me.
Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat.
Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat.
Is it really necessary that we talk?
What was that?
Oh.
Have you no sense about you? You're not from around here. Something you want to ask me about Balmora? I ask myself, do I like you enough to tell you about this?
I am Nileno Dorvain. I keep business going here in Balmora while the Lalu counselors are away, which is most of the time.
swamps are ruin. Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat.
Not now, Cyrodiil.
Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat. Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat. Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat.
I am Nileno Dorvain. I keep business going here in Balmora while the Lalu counselors are away.
Do you mind?
Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat. Have you no sense about
There
you?
are plenty of
You
ordinary
spread
people
disease
to
like a
talk to.
rat.
Don't bother them.
I am Nileno Dorvain. I keep business going here in Balmora while the Lalu counselors are away, which is most of the time.
Have you no sense about you? You spread disease like a rat. Have you no sense about you? You spread... You're not from around here. Something you want to ask me about Balmora?
Ravir buys magic weapons direct from the Telvanni. You'll not find any cheaper in all Balmora.
Must you make a pest of yourself?
Have you been helped?
My patience is
Ajira knows that you are a good friend of Ajira.
Greetings. Let's do business.
This scent is new.
I am a sleeper, one among thousands. I bring you a message. Dagoth calls you, and you cannot deny your lord. The sixth house is risen, and Dagoth is its glory.
if you must. This one is no more. Why do you approach?
If you would be wise, model your lives on the lives of the saints. If you would learn valor, follow Saint Nerevar the Captain, patron of warriors and statesmen. Lord Nerevar helped to unite the barbarian Dunmer tribes into a great nation, culminating in his martyrdom when leading the Dunmer to victory against the evil Dwemer and the traitorous House Dagoth in the Battle of Red Mountain. If you would learn daring, follow St. Veloth the Pilgrim, patron of outcasts and spiritual seekers. St. Veloth, prophet and mystic, led the Dunmer out of the decadent home country of the Somerset Isles and into the promised land of Morrowind. St. Veloth also taught the difference between the good and bad Daedra, and won the aid of the good Daedra for his people while teaching how to carefully negotiate with the bad Daedra. If you would learn generosity, follow St. Rilms the Barefooted, patron of pilgrims and beggars. St. Rilms gave away her shoes, then dressed and appeared as a beggar to better acquaint herself with the poor. If you would learn self-respect and respect for others, follow St. Aralor the Penitent, patron of tanners and miners. This foul criminal repented his sins and travelled a circuit of the great pilgrimages on his knees. If you would learn mercy and its fruits, follow St. Serin the Merciful, patron of brewers, bakers, distillers. This pure virgin of modest aspect could heal all diseases at the price of taking the disease upon herself. Tough-minded and fearless, she took on the burdens of others and bore those burdens to an honoured old age. If you would learn fierce justice, follow St. Felms the Bold, patron of butchers and fishmongers. This brave warlord slew the Nord invaders and drove them from our lands. He could neither read nor write, receiving inspiration directly from the lips of Almsivi. If you would learn pride of race and tribe, follow St. Roris the Martyr, patron of furnishers and caravanners. Captured by Argonians just before the Arnesian War, Roris proudly refused to renounce the tribunal faith and withstood the cruel tortures of Argonian sorcerers. Vengeance and justice for the martyred St. Roris was the rallying cry of the Arnesian War. If you would learn the rule of law and justice, follow St. Olms the Just, patron of chandlers and clerks. Founder of the Ordinators, St. Olms conceived and articulated the fundamental principles of testing, ordeal, and repentance. If you would learn benevolence, follow St. Delin the Wise, patron of potters and glassmakers. St. Delin was head of House Indoril, a skilled lawyer and author of many learned treatises on tribunal law and custom. If you would learn the love of peace, follow St. Maris the Peacemaker, patron of farmers and labourers. As a little girl, St. Mary's showed healing gifts and trained as a healer. She ended a long and bloody house war, intervening on the battlefield in her white robe to heal warriors and spellcrafters without regard to faction. The troops of all houses adopted white robes as her standard and refused to shed the blood of their brethren. If you would learn reverence, follow Saint Lothis the Pious, patron of tailors and dyers, contemporary and companion of the tribunal, and the best-loved Alma ruler of the tribunal temple, who formulated the central rituals and principles of the new temple faith. Saint Lothis is the symbolic mortal bridge between the gods and the faithful and the archetypal priest.
Speak quickly.
Anytime you're ready.
Shopping, are we? You'll love my selection.
If you want something, now's the time to talk.
In the wilds of most every province of Tamriel, descended philosophically, if not directly from the original inhabitants of the land, are the Aelids, commonly called the Wild Elves. While three races of elven stock, the Altmer, or High Elves, the Bosmer, or Wood Elves, and the Dunmer, or Dark Elves, have assimilated well into the new cultures of Tamriel, the Aelids and their brethren have remained aloof toward our civilization, preferring to practice the old ways far from the eyes of the world. The Wild Elves speak a variation of Old Cyrodiilic, opting to shun Tamrielic and separating themselves from the mainstream of Tamriel even further than the least urbanized of their elven cousins. In temperament, they are dark-spirited and taciturn, though this is from the point of view of outsiders, or Pelani in their tongue, and doubtless they act differently within their own tribes. Indeed, one of the finest sages of the University of Gwilym was a civilized Aeliad elf, Jurhain Fear, 1E 2790 to 2E 227, whose published work on wild elves suggests a lively, vibrant culture. Fear is one of the very few Aeliads to speak freely on his people and religion, and he himself said, "The nature of the Aeliad tribes is multi-hued, their personalities often wildly different from their neighbor tribes." Fear, T., Nature of Aeliadic Poesy, page 8, University of Gwilym Press, 2E12. Like any alien culture, wild elves are often feared by the simple people of Tamriel. The Aeliads continue to be one of the greatest enigmas of the continent of Tamriel. They seldom appear in the pages of written history in any role, and then only as a strange sight a chronicler stumbles upon before they vanish into the wood. When probable fiction is filtered from common legend, we are left with almost nothing. The mysterious ways of the Aeliads have remained shrouded since before the First Era, and may well remain so for thousands of years to come.
Piece of the nine to you. Ever consider joining the Legion?
Summoned by another. Questions again.
Oh, things you do. Serve the Emperor and the Emperor's law.
Fresh game.
What's this about? What assistance do you need? Good day, citizen. I'm Pilus Amatius. This is Ebonheart, named for Castle Ebonheart and the Duke of Ebonheart, Duke Vidam Dren, by the grace of our Emperor, the Emperor's representative here in Vvardenfell district. Can I help you?
Fresh game. She is in good hands now. Thank you.